friends. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torgrosa. This is Friday. Sorry, a little bit of a late start this morning. Trying to figure out what's going to happen with this weather. There's a lot going on. First thing we do know is that wind is coming our way. So there's a high wind watch in effect for the northwestern counties of lower Michigan. I'll show that to you in just a minute. High wind watch means that wind gusts could be over 55 miles an hour in those places. Other areas, a large chunk has a wind advisory for wind gusts from 45 to 55 miles an hour. So let's get started here. The sunshine pretty much close to being done for most of us. You might still have it in the far southeast, but you're going to probably lose that sunshine as we go through the morning hours. Now, here's the advisory and warning map for the winds. And you get this in here. So the I don't know what color that is. The brownish greenish color. That is where the high wind watch is in effect. Mackinac County, Emmett, Charlevoix County, Leelanau, Benzie, Manistee counties. And then a large chunk you see pretty much everywhere that the Grand Rapids National Weather Service covers is under a wind advisory for gusts to between 45 and 55 miles an hour. Most of it 45 to 50, I would say. So the rain is going to hang in the northwest part of lower Michigan and especially across the UP. If you have plans on going to the UP tonight for some camping, no, does not look comfortable at all. Here's our radar forecast as we go into 11 noon. So we're still dry for today in most all areas, aside from a quick little shower or so. And then we go to 2 o'clock and 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock. So northern lower Michigan, the UP, you'll start to get soaked, it looks like, this evening, as the southeast still stays on the dry side. And that same zone will continue through the night tonight and then gradually shift on to the east. All right, so maybe I actually better show you the shift to the east. Give me a second here. We'll go to the next model that I like in that kind of case, and it goes a little bit farther out. Carrie Draper, how's the wind in Kingsley? You're going to be probably 45 to 50 mile an hour. Eric Young, when does the heavier winds move in? It looks like it'd be afternoon and evening tomorrow. Hey, good morning, Catherine Kent Eastman. Yes, Monica Hadley. Leaves will be everywhere. All right, so this is a model that shows, it's a little bit different. At 6 o'clock, it brings the rain into the Saginaw area. I think that's a little too soon. This is an older run. Remember, high resolution rapid refresh comes in every hour. This model, although good, only comes in every 6 hours. So this is Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening. There's your cold front, your gust front. See that line of showers? That's where the wind will come, and it'll be a relatively short-lived wind event, an hour or two in any one spot, and then breezy on either side of that. All right, now the European model. Hopefully you can pick out where you're at. You can, if I get to the 0 hour with nothing else on it, you can see you can see where Michigan is. You get Florida and you get the Gulf Coast and the East Coast, and then you work your way back to Michigan. Chicks hunt too. How about Hillsdale, Michigan? Yeah, you're gonna be in the lighter wind. You probably have a 35 to 40 mile an hour gust tomorrow, late afternoon or early evening. So this is today, and here's the storm system forming and shifting on toward the northeast. And then we get into dry weather for Sunday, and we start a warming trend again as the next storm forms out to the west, still to our north and west, Montana. So it still gets us into the warm sector. This is next Wednesday, looking great. Hey, good morning, Mark. Hartjanit, Hargerink. Sorry. And then Thursday of next week looks very warm. And then the next storm system, a cranker too. We're getting into the gales of November time. That's November 13th at that point. And finally, at day 9 and day 10, we're into the cold side of the storm, and that could be some snow showers across Michigan. All right. How strong on the winds? Now, you know, I'm sorry. I've tried to grasp this why we use knots still. And I looked it up. It makes some sense, but it's really old. And I think even a boater would just say, "Hey, the rest of my life is in miles per hour." But these maps, a lot of the weather maps are in knots. You know, I have no idea why we make it as complex as it more complex than it needs to be. I guess it's just the way that we do that, huh? All right. So maximum wind gusts in knots. So if you see a 50, you're going to add on about 6 or 7 to that, 57. If you see a 40, you're going to add on about 5 to that, 45. So basically, what you're looking at is Emmett County, Charlevoix County, from Leelanau Peninsula down to Manistee and Ludington. That's where you could have some 55-mile-an-hour gusts. Carrie Draper, do you think Thanksgiving will be good weather or snow? Little bit too early to tell because of the up and down nature of this pattern. It's either yes or no on the cold and the warm. Um, Tiffany Marie, do you think we're still shaping up for a super snowy winter once this warm spell ends? We're shaping up for a wet winter, and that means that even when it's mild in the middle of winter, we should have ample snow. Um, we just have to see if you know, I just want to comment on that for a second. Our winters are severe compared to a lot of the country, but for us, a severe winter happens only when we get 1 or 2 months in a row of it in the heart of winter. Then we feel like, wow, this is something. I mean, we always get, even in the mildest winters, we always get a week or two of severe winter weather. But then if it lets up, we say, that wasn't too bad. So the question is, do we get the stormy chunk in the middle part of winter when the cold is here? And it's really hard to say. What we do know is there are strong indications toward wetter than normal conditions, and wetter than normal in winter in Michigan usually leads to a lot of mess. So here's your wind gust forecast for tomorrow. It's late afternoon and evening. It's out of the southwest. Builders, protect your buildings that you're putting up. That the wall is sitting up there for to become a big kite, because you don't want to pick that up on Sunday morning. You don't want to get a call, right? Larry Pusker, will it freeze Lake Michigan? Um, it's going to be in a warming climate. That's going to be really hard to do. So if I were going to take that bet, I would say no. Lake Michigan will not freeze. Southeast, by the way, Ann Arbor, Detroit, at 40, maybe a 45-mile-an-hour wind gust, 1 or 2 of them. How much rainfall? This is that NAM model, and it keeps the heaviest through the UP. Like I said, you're not going to be comfortable if you try to do some camping in the UP tonight or tomorrow. It would be definitely a no-go for me. Here's the high resolution rapid refresh, comes in every hour. It is suppressed the heavy rain more south and east. So instead of Traverse City having a half inch, it has it as an inch and a half, 1.3. And so I would say northwest lower. I like this model when you get closer in. I would say northwest lower, you got an inch rain. And look, it shifts it so that the UP doesn't get quite as heavy of an amount of rain. All right, temperatures, they're going to be mostly on the warm side. And I talked about record warmth, but not the way you'd expect. Normally, when we talk about record warmth, you think a warm afternoon. We're going to have those, but we're not going to be quite at record levels. We got to be still about 75 to 78 degrees in the next week for record high temperatures to happen a lot. But we're going to have record warmth in the morning. We're going to have record warm low temperatures. So the coldest part of the morning tomorrow in the 50s, those are going to be record warm low temperatures. But right now I'm showing you the high temperatures for today. We're still warm, about 70 in the south. Tomorrow we're still warm everywhere, 60s, even up to the bridge. And that's still 15 degrees warmer than normal. Yeah, I know, Kurt Davy, but that's a hot ticket. You get the odd ones that do it. You get the people that do it. I guess I shouldn't say odd. If the weather's such, it's a good time to camp in the UP, I guess. Um, or deer hunting, too. Sunday in the 60s. Monday, a little bit cooler, back to the 50s in the south, 40s in the north. That's not too out of the ordinary. Pamela Todoroff, Election Day weather should be no weather around. Should be good. Tuesday, temperatures in the 50s and 40s. Then Wednesday, back to the 60s. Then Thursday, approaching 70 degrees, if not 70. Friday, depending on the next storm system track, in the 60s. Saturday, in the 60s to near 70, with a big temperature gradient setting up, almost 70 in Detroit. Just cracking freezing in the western UP, and then still 10 days out, Sunday, November 13th, but it's getting closer and closer, and more models are showing that. I do want to show you that these are those record low temperatures, record warm low temperatures expected for tomorrow morning. 58 in Saginaw, 58 in Flint, 58 in the Detroit area, 57 in Grand Rapids and in Lansing. So we could actually have quite a few record warm low temperatures for tomorrow. Hey, that's it. I might update you on the wind gusts tomorrow, but you've been warned. You know what's coming. We've been through it. It's not an extremely strong situation, and it's a 1 to 2 hour burst. So just protect yourself. If you got a building project, if you've got, a roof you're trying to get done and you got shingles halfway up there or whatever, do what you got to do so you're not redoing it after a 1 hour worth of wind. There's your weather update. Thanks for joining me. Hey, we're still pretty strong. We're still 200 people. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Thanks for spending part of your Friday morning with me. I will be back here at least on Monday, and take care. Have a great weekend.